Lost Tales. The Exaltation of Inanna. By Inanna, High Priestess of the Goddess Inanna, daughter of Sargon of Akkad. Lady of all the divine powers, resplendent light. Righteous woman clothed in radiance, beloved of heaven and earth. Mistress of heaven, you of all the great ornaments. Enamored of the appropriate tiara, suitable for the high priesthood. Whose hand has attained all the 7 divine powers. O my lady, you are the guardian of all the great divine powers. O foremost one, you are the Inanna of heaven and earth. Introduction. Mesopotamia, a historical region of Western Asia situated within the Tigris-Euphrates river system, in the northern part of the Fertile Crescent. Corresponding to today's Iraq mostly, but also parts of modern-day Iran, Syria, and Turkey. Deities in ancient Mesopotamia were almost exclusively anthropomorphic. The names of over 3,000 Mesopotamian deities have been recovered from cuneiform texts. Out of these deities, one of the most powerful is the subject of our interest. While largely unknown in the modern day, this powerful ancient deity had a complex and influential role in the religions and cultures of the ancient Near East. As the most famous Mesopotamian goddess, her substantial influence was embedded in many aspects of her worshippers' lives, and she was revered across the broad geographical reach of the ancient Near East for a period of history spanning thousands of years. She comes from a very early time in the history of complex civilizations, with her cult attested at Uruk as early as the late 4th millennium BCE. She is Ishtar. Ishtar or Inanna. Was she Ishtar or was she Inanna? Or are they different names for same deity? Ishtar was originally worshipped in Sumer under the name Inanna, and was later worshipped by the Akkadians, Babylonians, and Assyrians under the name Ishtar. One would wonder how 2 powerful deities got merged into one, and the name Ishtar and Inanna are used interchangeably for her. The ancient Sumerian poet Inanna has some role to play in it. Inanna was the first author in the world known by name. Living in the around 2285 to 2250 BCE, Inanna was the high priestess of the Temple of Sumer. She was a daughter of Sargon of Akkad or Sargon the Great. The Akkadians were Semitic-speaking people from Mesopotamia. Under Sargon the Great, the Akkadian Empire absorbed several Sumerian city-states, some say as many as 34. One of Sargon's most significant conquests was the Sumerian city of Ur. And Inanna was charged with the task of reconciling the gods of the Akkadians with the gods of the Sumerians so that the important city of Ur would acquiesce to Sargon's rule. Inanna's monumental task was to combine 2 deities into a single, all-powerful goddess. She accomplished this through her spiritual writings. Family of Ishtar. The family tree of Inanna or Ishtar differs according to different traditions. She is variously the daughter of Sky God, also known as Anu, who was the supreme Mesopotamian god. Or the daughter of Moon God, Nanna, also known as Sin, and his wife Ningal. In some myths she is daughter of god of water and wisdom, Enki, also known as Ea. She has a twin brother, the god of sun and justice, Utu, also known as Shamash. Her older sister is queen of the underworld, Ereshkigal. Dumuzid, also known as Tammuz, the god of shepherds, is usually described as Inanna's husband. She is also paired with the war god Zababa. Worship. Also known as the Queen of Heaven, Ishtar is associated with love, beauty, sex, war, justice, and political power. Her sphere of power contained more distinct and contradictory aspects than that of any other deity. This could be because of merging or assimilation of several previously unrelated Sumerian deities with totally different domains into Ishtar over time with changing conquerors. Or the other reason could be that Ishtar or Inanna entered Sumerian pantheon after it was already fully structured and took on all the roles that had not yet been assigned to other deities. The Mesopotamians worshipped Ishtar as the goddess of fertility and vegetation, warfare, and love. Unlike other gods, whose roles were static and whose domains were limited, the stories of Ishtar describe her as moving from conquest to conquest. She was portrayed as young and impetuous, constantly striving for more power than she had been allotted. During the pre-Sargonic era, the cult of Inanna was rather limited, but, after the reign of Sargon, she quickly became one of the most widely venerated deities in the Sumerian pantheon. She had temples in Nippur, Lagash, Shuruppak, and but her main cult center was the Inanna temple in Uruk. During later times, while her cult in Uruk continued to flourish, Ishtar also became particularly worshipped in the Upper Mesopotamian kingdom of Assyria, especially in the cities of Nineveh, Osua, and Arbela. During the reign of the Assyrian king Osobonapol, Ishtar rose to become the most important and widely venerated deity in the Assyrian pantheon, surpassing even the Assyrian national god Ashur. Iconography. Ishtar's most common symbol was the eight-pointed star. The rosette was another important symbol. During the Neo-Assyrian period, the rosette may have eclipsed the eight-pointed star and become Ishtar's primary symbol. Ishtar was also associated with lions, which the ancient Mesopotamians regarded as a symbol of power. Her associations with lions began during Sumerian times. During the Akkadian period, Ishtar was frequently depicted as a heavily armed warrior goddess with a lion as one of her attributes. Doves were also prominent animal symbols associated with Inanna or Ishtar. Doves are shown on cultic objects associated with Inanna as early as the beginning of the 3rd millennium BC. Ishtar was also associated with the planet Venus. The discontinuous movements of Venus relate to both mythology as well as Ishtar's dual nature. A powerful goddess. A complex figure, combining the characteristics, both good and evil, of many different goddesses. While largely unknown in the modern day, she influenced and gave rise to many goddesses who are still worshipped. She is Ishtar. In the next video we will explore some very famous and interesting myths of Ishtar. And we will also delve into her influence on other goddesses. Lost Tales.